And welcome to the Just in Time podcast. I'm your host, Justin Chute, and I'm very blessed to be with you here today as we're here with episode 12. First college football game of the year is tomorrow. There's a few others as well, and it all starts on Saturday, August 26, 2023. We can dive right into the video talking about the first college football game of the year with Navy versus Notre Dame. But first, let's give a quick shout out to the sponsors of the video.
Shout out to the sponsor of the video, LoveLee Creations by Jen. She creates beautiful one-of-a-kind wreaths and arrangements for all seasons, unique designs using old lassos, antlers, antique containers, repurposed wood, and more. Owner and creator Jennifer McFall loves custom orders. You can let her bring your vision to life or create a beautiful and unique gift for someone else. Come see what's available in person on September 2nd at Round Rock Market Days, where she'll be set up selling creations and taking orders. Show up in your favorite football team shirt or cap and receive 15% off your purchase or order. You can follow LoveLee Creations by Jen on Facebook and Instagram to see all of her items and what's available for purchase. If you mention Just in Time and receive $10 off on any purchase or custom order. Shipping and local delivery is available on all purchases, and you can welcome your friends and family into your home with an inviting wreath, or you can add a pretty arrangement to your dining table created by LoveLee Creations by Jen. Be sure to reach out to her today. Do you have clutter that's piling up in your home, an office stressing you out, or a closet that you've been meaning to clean out for years but never have the time? Clutterbug Organizing by Jamie provides professional decluttering and organization services that will transform your stressful areas into pleasing and functional spaces that bring you peace of mind. Check out their Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, link below, and book a consultation through the Google form. You can get your first hour free by putting Just in Time Podcast in response to referral questions. Last but not least, shout out to the sponsor, High Jump Party Rentals in 4K, the Barber, high quality party bounces and party packages available along with an up-and-coming barber service. You can reach out to either or at 210-799-6930. Chris and Erica will take care of y'all. If you need a haircut, need a party bounce, they're your people to go to. The hot summer days are still here, and they've got water bounces that'll be perfect to cool off and have fun outside. Hit them up to reserve one today.
All right, we're going to be talking about Navy versus Notre Dame. This kicks off week 0 on Saturday, August 26th. Kickoff is at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 1:30 p.m. Central Time, and 7:30 p.m. in Ireland. That game kicks off at Ireland. They're taking the Navy to Ireland to potentially probably lose to Notre Dame. I'm just excited. I'm excited for this to finally be here. College football is finally here. This is known as week 0. And for those of you who don't know what week 0 is basically the start of the college football season. Not a lot of games are going to be played throughout week 0. Usually it's just a few, but yeah, there's some pretty big teams playing tomorrow, and just to kind of ease your way into college football into the brand new season. This game will be aired on NBC, but it can also be streamed on the Peacock app. And Notre Dame and Navy first played in 1927 and have met every single year since then, with the exception of the 2020 COVID year, where it was a shortened season for most teams in college football. It's a series dominated by the Fighting Irish, and the team leads the series 79 wins to 13 losses to 1 draw. And Notre Dame has won the past 5 meetings. So if you want to give some meaning for both sides, for Notre Dame, they're trying to retain that 5-game winning streak, make it 6. And for Navy, they're trying to, erase that slump, get a huge win on their season. And it would be a very huge win because expectations are sky high for the Notre Dame once again, especially after the Fighting Irish finished last season, winning 6 of their last 7 games, including a Gator Bowl win against South Carolina. South Carolina is a very, very good SEC team. All eyes will be on quarterback Sam Hartman as the Wake Forest transfer who was most highly sought transfers in the portal. He was the number 1 quarterback and the number 7 player overall in the transfer portal according to 24/7 Sports. Sam Hartman's a dude. He can ball it out. I've watched this guy get better since high school. He came out of North Carolina, I believe, and He was looking for some high, D1 offers. Sam got offered to play for Wake Forest, goes to Wake Forest, balls out of Wake Forest for about 4 years, and then as a grad transfers to Notre Dame, where they're looking for him to bring on some success for the Fighting Irish program. And it'll be a new look at the helm for Navy as former defensive coordinator Brian Newberry is in as a new head coach. The offense will still have its triple option attack, but it won't be exactly known for the same style as the team has been known for. And there will be a lot more passing plays being implemented in the offense. The team hasn't, it hasn't had success in recent memory, but, they're hoping that they'll get back to it as, it hasn't reached a bowl game since going 11-2 in 2019. So they're a few years removed from that, I believe 4 years, but they're looking to turn it around starting tomorrow. I'd be on the lookout for Sam Hartman, hone in on him and how he does with Notre Dame tomorrow and how that offense looks. It's going to be the first game of the college football season. Everybody's looking forward to it. He was a scoring machine at Wake Forest, and he's been getting better and better each year in college. And after the departure of quarterback Tyler Buckner to Alabama, head coach Marcus Freeman and the Fighting Irish are counting on quarterback transfer Sam Hartman to make an immediate impact to winning. This is a Notre Dame team that's looking to start off the year 1-0, just move on forward because they have some pretty tough games on the rest of their schedule. Notre Dame's a unique team because Notre Dame isn't in a conference. They're one of the few teams in college football that they don't belong to any conference. So what that means is they'll just schedule their games with teams that don't have any conference play during the week, and sometimes that works in their favor, sometimes it doesn't. I'm under the impression of it's better to be in a conference, but for a school like Notre Dame that's all about tradition and stuff like that, they're just always going to, float on their own boat. Some notable games on Notre Dame's schedule include at NC State on September 9th. That is week 2 of college football, a crazy weekend filled with lots of great games. They play Ohio State at Notre Dame on September 23rd. That's going to be a huge game. Huge implications on the line for both teams. Notre Dame hosts USC on October 14th. I apologize. On October 14th, they host USC, and that's another huge game right there. Both teams with playoff aspirations in their mind. And on November the 4th, Notre Dame goes to Clemson to play the Tigers. So that'll be another stacked game to watch. But be on the lookout for Notre Dame tomorrow and the Navy midshipmen. It's going to be a fun game. Kickoff was at 1:30 Central Time, so just be on the lookout for that. I'll be watching, but who knows? Hope y'all are tuning in. Man, I'm excited about college football. I've been looking forward to this all summer, and what another way to kick off some college football without reviewing Swamp Kings, the Netflix documentary on Tim Tebow, and the Urban Meyer-led Florida Gators review. I got around to watch the new Netflix sports documentary called Swamp Kings, and I was really looking forward to this one because it follows former Ohio State and Florida head coach Urban Meyer and former Heisman winner Tim Tebow and that legendary Florida program from the mid-2000s. And I was anticipating major storylines and getting to know more about certain topics, but I just haven't seen or I haven't got to that part yet. And I watched the whole thing, and I was looking forward to seeing some Cam Newton. He was barely in there. I don't think he was in there at all. They didn't touch on the Carlos Dunlap DUI before the 2009 SEC championship. They didn't talk much about Aaron Hernandez and his life after football. They didn't talk about the Pouncey twins much. What happened to them and their stuff. They didn't talk much about Zach Smith or Riley Cooper and what went on in them, and just all the off-the-field issues that happened for the Florida Gators. They didn't touch on that much. Overall, I finished the documentary, and I'm not that impressed. I loved how real the Manziel documentary was, and I love that they held nothing back in that one. in this documentary about the Florida Gators, it seemed like they left a bit of content on the table, and they didn't break down each bit of interesting news as well. If you're a football fan, heck, if you're a Florida fan, I mean, it's a good watch, but I just take it with a grain of salt. Those things I've mentioned above are missing or not referred to and mentioned above in the documentary. And I'm sure there's more they didn't prioritize in Swamp Kings. That Florida Gators documentary could have shown a lot more, but it didn't. And we can be upset about that, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We know what happened during that time at Florida, and my wish was that they include all of it. But there's more documentaries and there's more stories on those topics I've mentioned above elsewhere. And I didn't like this documentary as much as the Manziel one, but overall, I think it was a good watch for a football fan, especially if you're a Florida Gators fan. And if your favorite memories were watching college football in the mid-2000s, then this is definitely on your watch list for sure. Moving on, I'm going to talk about a unicorn in college football. I love how Josh Pate from the Late Kick with Josh Pate says how Shohei Ohtani is doing amazing things we've never seen before in the MLB. We could potentially be seeing that with Travis Hunter. Wide receiver and defensive back, Colorado, Travis Hunter is the Shohei Ohtani of college football. 24/7 Sports had to say this about Travis Hunter. He's a generational type of talent, legitimately cornerback 1 and wide receiver 1 for the class of 2022, makes everything he does look extremely easy, smooth, explosive, competitive. At times, it seems like he's almost a human cheat code, as he's always making the highlight reel play at the right time. Ooh. Travis Hunter was the former number 1 overall player in the class of 2022. He originally committed to play for Coach Prime at Jackson State and HBCU, where he put up some notable numbers in his first season. Once Coach Prime took on the head coaching job at Colorado, Travis ended up transferring to Boulder, Colorado to join Coach Prime and his son, quarterback Shedeur Sanders, who was also a teammate of Travis Hunter at Jackson State. The two will look to compete in a competitive and challenging Pac-12 with lots of scary teams like USC, Washington, Oregon State, and so on. And what makes Travis Hunter so unique is that he will play both offense and defense for the Buffs. He is one of the only few players in college football doing that. He is outstanding as both a wide receiver and as a defensive back. He's had notable experience playing both ways of football since high school, and that's thoroughly translated to the college game. If he can sustain this level of success against Power 5 schools and against Pac-12 caliber teams, Travis Hunter is going to be getting All-American hype and some Heisman talks. He's certainly a unique talent and one to keep your eyes on this year. The Colorado Buffaloes team is definitely trending upwards as they kick off their season on September 2nd at TCU at 11 a.m. And that's a huge week 1 game. You're opening up the year to TCU at TCU. This TCU team just went to the national championship. Granted, they lost in demanding fashion to the Georgia Bulldogs, but I mean, they made it. You got to give TCU some credit for that. Take a sip of water for a second. Alrighty. Let's talk about some notable upsets I can see happening in college football this year. And got this segment from Josh Pate from the Late Kick with Josh Pate. Shout out to the Late Kick with Josh Pate. There's nobody else in college football doing it like him in the media-wise. So, yeah, he's my inspiration for when it comes to talking about college football for sure. He does it so well, and his success just makes it to where I wanna just follow in his path. Speaking on that, we're going to talk about some upsets I can see happening in college football, and we're going to start off with South Carolina at Georgia week 3. And I was just mentioning South Carolina earlier in the video, but it's been reported that Georgia's already experiencing multiple injuries at the running back position. All of the upperclassmen are injured for Georgia, and that means they've only got 2 true freshman running backs healthy and good to go as of right now. And as y'all may know, depth is crucial in college football and in seasons where you can't lose multiple games, because that makes the difference between if you're competing for a title or not. Georgia's looking towards the rest of their talented team to step up and account for those injuries. And in college football, it isn't just about who starts. It ain't about the 11 on offense and 11 on defense. It's about all 52, 55 guys on that team that, truly make a difference because, injuries happen, stuff happens, and you're gonna face some tough challenges in your way, and it's up to you to have recruited the right guys for your program. Speaking on how those injuries reflect Georgia, let's talk about South Carolina. And I think they're a pretty good team, and I think they got some good players over there for sure, including former 5-star quarterback Spencer Rattler. And Spencer Rattler transferred from Oklahoma to South Carolina after losing the quarterback job to the current Heisman winner Caleb Williams. Even though he's had his ups and downs in his college career as of last season and as of late, he's been trending upwards, and I believe he can win these big games like this one in Week 3 at Georgia in Athens. It's going to be a good competitive game. I'm counting on South Carolina pulling off an upset, but we'll have to tune in back in a couple of weeks later for that. And just my overall thoughts on Spencer Rattler. I think he's a very good quarterback, and I think he's gotten some harsh criticism over the years, and a lot of it's because Caleb Williams took his job at Oklahoma. And that's not discrediting Spencer Rattler. It's just Caleb Williams is that good, You see how he's doing over there at USC. You see the kind of hype and attention USC is getting. And yeah, I think Spencer Rattler's still pretty good. He's got a lot of talent. And yeah, I'm counting on Shane Beamer in the Gamecocks to do some good things for South Carolina this year. So you'll have to tune in to Week 3 to see that one. Another upset I can see happening is Oregon at Texas Tech Week 2. Texas Tech is a good team, and quarterback Tyler Show is undefeated in games where he starts and finishes at Texas Tech. What's interesting about this one is that he also transferred from Oregon to Texas Tech, and that's something that it'll be thrown around on ESPN during that week and stuff like that. Tyler Show, who used to play at Oregon, is now at Texas Tech, and he had a phenomenal year last year when he was healthy. And now Oregon's going to go to Texas Tech Week 2 to play them. So this is up for Tyler Show to show that, he's going to get his revenge against his former team or not. So that's a game that's always pretty exciting with those stakes on the line. And Week 2 just has a bunch of crazy good games in store, and this is a matchup I can see potentially occurring for sure. And another Week 2 matchup, last but not least, I'm going to keep mentioning this all year. Texas, man. Texas at Alabama Week 2. I'll say it again and again. I believe Texas is going to beat Alabama Week 2 at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Josh Pate, who should be the commissioner of college football, has him likely going 11-1 next season. Hearing that was music to my ears, and to bounce off that, I think they'll win Week 2. I just want you to remember the game from last year. Texas was passing the ball with Quinn Ewers and shredding Alabama's secondary. We were trending towards winning the game, but Quinn gets hurt and Hudson Card steps in, and even he is torching Alabama with his pass and run play, but he gets hurt and he shakes his ankle injury, but he plays the rest of the game despite that injury. And even when all that, we were still winning the game. And then number 1 overall Heisman winning quarterback Bryce Young happened. And we got a roughing the passer call when technically he was already down from his knees. Despite that questionable call, we only ended up losing the game by 1 to Alabama with our backup injured quarterback. Knowing this info from that game, plus Bryce Young, which was Alabama's best offensive player, and Will Anderson Jr., Alabama's best defensive player, they're both in the NFL now. Bryce Young was picked number 1 overall in the draft, and Will Anderson was picked number 3 overall in the draft. Both highly talented individuals. Texas only upgraded everywhere besides running back. Our wide receivers are going to outmatch them in the secondary, and I believe our passing attack for the second time in a row will just cut up Alabama. You're talking about a Texas team that added A.D. Mitchell. They're going to get Isaiah Nayor back for them in this time. They just recruited Jonte Cook. So you're looking at Isaiah Nayor, Xavier Worthy, Jordan Whittington, A.D. Mitchell, Jatavion Sanders, Jonte Cook. That's a lot of weapons. That's a lot of weapons for any secondary to handle. Alabama's going to have their hands full with Texas's passing attack for sure. But for me, Sorry about that. I think Texas is moving different this year. I think overall, this game, we should have won it last year. If healthy Quinn or healthy Hudson could have done the job for Texas, and I think that would have changed the whole dynamic of the season. If you start off 2-0 beating Bama. All of our losses last year were one possession games, and the scores were less than a 7-point difference. So all signs are pointing to Texas being good this year, and I just believe there's too many weapons on the field for any defense to handle. And last but not least, if Josh Pate is all in, I'm most certainly all in on Texas as well. And another quick shout out to the same dude I shouted out earlier, the Late Kick with Josh Pate. If you love the sport of college football and all things news and information, he's the man to be watching. He uploads 3 times a week and provides A+ content, and I highly recommend his show to any college football enthusiast. So shout out to him one last time. And for some other sports news going on, the Indianapolis Colts running back Jonathan Taylor requests a trade. This is pretty huge because Jonathan Taylor is looked at as, a top 10 running back in the league. I know there's been a few teams that have, offered, the Colts are looking for first-round picks in return, but I know the Eagles and Dolphins have offered second-round picks, and it just hasn't worked out so far. So we'll see in the coming days what happens with Jonathan Taylor. And other news, Anthony Edwards hype. This is some NBA news for y'all. Some quick little basketball news. Anthony Edwards, man, he's been balling out for Team USA. And in recent games for the FIBA games, he's been channeling his Kobe and MJ comparisons. And according to Steve Kerr, he's becoming the guy for Team USA. So that's always exciting to see, especially from a former #1 overall pick in Anthony Edwards. I was super high on him coming out of the draft, and his only recent hype is just, glimpses of what he can do. And I'm hoping he plays better defensively in FIBA, in the NBA. Overall, he's just a great, talented player, and I'm excited to see how he grows this year. Some other college football Week 0 games on Saturday, August 26th, which is tomorrow. We're going to have Navy at Notre Dame. That's going to be at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. We got UTEP at JSU, 4:30 p.m. Central Time. We have UMass at New Mexico State. That's going to be at 6 p.m. Central Time. We have Ohio at San Diego State. That's going to also be at 6 p.m. Central Time. We have Hawaii at Vanderbilt, an SEC matchup for them, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. We have San Jose State at USC at 7 p.m. Central Time. You get to see Caleb Williams, what the current Heisman winner is looking like, and what that USC team is looking like for this upcoming season. You got FIU at LA Tech at 8 p.m. Central Time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 matchups. 7 games on tomorrow to hit, headline Week 0. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope y'all are looking forward to it as well. But yeah, in the meantime, that's going to be it for episode 12, y'all. It was a quick one, but more content will be getting pushed out. The college football season is here, so we're going to be diving in a lot more content. But in the meantime, I really appreciate the support, and I hope y'all liked the video. More episodes are coming soon, and I hope everybody has a blessed day. And until next time, y'all stay cool out there. Peace.